At the edge of a West Memphis warehouse, the ruin of Family Dollar was no longer hidden behind discount signs or crowded checkout lanes. Federal inspectors had found products stored under conditions tied to rodents, decay, contamination, and a criminal case that stained a national retail name. The chain, once built for Americans living close to the financial edge, had become a symbol of how cheaply trust can disappear. Before private equity bought what remained, one question hung over thousands of faded red storefronts across America. How did a family-built discount empire lose billions in value while selling the very basics millions of households still needed? The answer begins in Charlotte, North Carolina, where Leon Levine opened the first Family Dollar store in 1959 with a simple retail idea. He believed small stores could sell basic merchandise at low prices in neighborhoods too ordinary, too poor, or too inconvenient for larger chains. The first promise was not glamour, but access, because detergent, socks, snacks, soap, and paper goods mattered deeply to families counting every dollar. Family Dollar grew from that uncomfortable truth, turning economic pressure into a business model that followed old cars, tight paychecks, and overlooked communities. By offering convenience near home, the company became part of daily survival for shoppers who could not always chase cheaper prices across town. That made the chain powerful, but it also made the foundation fragile, because its core customer had little room for inflation, job loss, or error. For decades, the formula looked almost unstoppable, as modest stores multiplied across the South and then spread deeper into America's working-class map. Behind the growth was a family story, not just a corporate one, with Leon Levine shaping the company through obsession, thrift, and personal control. By the time he retired, Family Dollar had become a Fortune 500 company with thousands of stores and a name that still carried legacy. But every empire built on low prices eventually faces a larger machine, and for Family Dollar, that machine was Walmart. Walmart did not need the emotional history, the neighborhood familiarity, or the family name, because it had scale, selection, logistics, and brutal pricing power. As Walmart expanded through smaller American markets, shoppers faced a practical calculation between nearby convenience and a longer drive to better deals. Family Dollar tried to adapt by pushing harder into urban neighborhoods, where density could replace the small-town advantage it was starting to lose. The strategy created visibility, but it also created new pressure, because urban stores often came with higher rents, tighter spaces, and heavier security problems. Some locations ended up too close to other Family Dollar stores, stealing sales from the same company instead of building new strength. What looked like expansion from the outside could become internal cannibalism from the inside, with weak stores quietly draining stronger ones nearby. Then came the deal that was supposed to solve the pressure by creating a discount empire large enough to fight back. In 2015, Dollar Tree completed its acquisition of Family Dollar in a transaction valued around $8.5 billion. On paper, the deal looked like scale, efficiency, and access to a wider customer base across thousands of American neighborhoods. But the two chains were less alike than their names suggested, and that difference became one of the merger's deepest problems. Dollar Tree was built around a treasure hunt feeling, a more suburban customer, and a powerful price point identity. Family Dollar depended more on essential goods, groceries, household needs, and shoppers who came because they needed something close and practical. Merging those worlds sounded clean inside investor presentations. But stores, customers, supply chains, and operating cultures rarely obey corporate diagrams. The company tried to find efficiencies, experiment with formats, and operate two discount identities under one roof, but the fit remained uneasy. A cheap store can survive looking plain, but it cannot survive losing the basic confidence that shelves, aisles, and products are under control. That confidence was already weakening as customers complained about messy stores, empty shelves, disorganized aisles, and locations that felt neglected. If you follow stories of American money, power, collapse, and the ruins left behind, subscribe to Fortunes and Ruins. Family Dollar's decline became darker because the problem was not only strategy, competition, or weak margins, but visible neglect inside the system. The most damaging symbol came from the company's West Memphis, Arkansas distribution center, where regulators found conditions connected to a rodent infestation. In 2024, Family Dollar pleaded guilty in a federal food safety case involving food, drugs, cosmetics, medical devices, and insanitary warehouse conditions. The company agreed to pay $41.675 million, described by federal officials as the largest monetary criminal penalty in a food safety case. For a discount retailer built on household trust, that number mattered, but the image mattered even more. A customer could picture the warehouse behind the shelf, and suddenly the bargain felt less like savings than a warning. The case exposed a deeper weakness because low-price retail depends on discipline, maintenance, logistics, and cleanliness, even when the store looks humble. At the same time, inflation squeezed lower-income households, while tighter budgets made every shopping trip more selective, cautious, and unforgiving. Family Dollar's customers needed value more than ever, but the chain was asking them to tolerate weaker stores for uncertain savings. That was dangerous because Family Dollar's business leaned heavily on essentials, where margins can be thin and mistakes can become expensive quickly. When sales fall and costs rise, every broken cooler, missing worker, security problem, lawsuit, lease, and late shipment becomes harder to absorb. Dollar General and Walmart could pressure prices from different directions, while Dollar Tree struggled to justify keeping Family Dollar inside its future. In 2024, Dollar Tree announced plans to close hundreds of Family Dollar stores, with more closures expected as leases expired. Those closures were not just accounting decisions but physical admissions that some storefronts no longer made sense in the map of the company. Each locked door represented a neighborhood that once supported the brand, a lease that failed, and a promise that no longer paid. By 2025, Dollar Tree agreed to sell Family Dollar to Brigade Capital Management and Macellum Capital Management for roughly $1 billion. The same brand once acquired for billions had become a discounted asset, separated after a decade of failed integration and public frustration. That collapse did not happen from one bad quarter, but from years of competition, weak execution, difficult customers, thin margins, and damaged trust. Family Dollar was born by understanding American financial stress, then declined when that stress became too heavy for its own stores to carry. The tragedy is not that discount retail disappeared, because America still has plenty of it, and millions still depend on cheap essentials. The tragedy is that a company named Family Dollar lost the feeling that it understood the families behind the dollars. Across America, that kind of decline leaves behind closed storefronts, empty factories, faded signs, financial documents, and ambition slowly turning into evidence. Keep watching Fortunes and Ruins for more forgotten stories of American wealth, power, ambition, collapse, and the wreckage left in plain sight. Because the final image is not a balance sheet, but a faded red sign above a quiet store where trust slowly ran out.